Thank you, Sadhguru, for speaking to us at Eco Walk the Talk. It's a real honor for me to be here with you today. At Eco Walk the Talk, we raise awareness about environmental issues and also share stories of positive change. Sadhguru, you have spread peace and joy to millions of people all over the world, and especially initiated Project Green Hands. It is the largest tree planting initiative in India and the state of Tamil Nadu, with the objective of planting 114 million trees that will raise the tree cover to…
We're not anywhere near that number.
33%. So why and how did you start Project Green Hands, and what is the progress so far?
In the year 1998, United Nations, certain agencies from United Nations made a prediction that by 2025, 60% of Tamil Nadu will be a desert. I did not like it. I don't like any predictions, because predictions take into account only the cold facts, not human aspirations. What's beating in human heart is ignored completely. But I wanted to confirm, so I drove around Tamil Nadu just to see if this is true. Then I came to a conclusion they are wrong, because in my estimate, it wouldn't go up to 2025, it would happen much faster. Rivers which have been there for thousands of years have evaporated in the last 20 years. Water table has sunk over 1,000 feet in many places. And desertification is bound to happen very, very rapidly. So I thought, what is the best thing to do? The simplest thing to do is the global warming, the temperature rise is happening. When the temperature rises, naturally the volume of… we made a calculation. If there is an increase in half a degree centigrade of temperature, how many millions of tons of extra evaporation will happen in the oceans? So that many tons of water evaporated, where does it go? It all becomes cloud cover. When it becomes cloud cover, one of the things that happens is a peninsula, which is southern India, will receive… islands and peninsulas will receive excessive rain. When rain happens, without the necessary vegetative cover over it, without a green cover over it, the topsoil will go away very quickly and the runoff will create deserts very fast. So it's not no rain which creates desert, it is excessive rain without a green top will create that. So the simple solution was to increase the green cover. Tamil Nadu's green cover on that day was 16.5%. National aspiration is 33%. So we made a barefoot calculation. If we need to make it 33%, for the area of Tamil Nadu, we needed 114 million trees. So when I said 114 million trees, people thought I don't know what the number is. So we have over 62 million population. If all of us plant one tree, nurture it for 2 years and plant one more, we got the number. But such things never happen because efforts are never made in that direction. But people thought this is an impossible number. So as a demonstration, I wanted to just give them the thrill of doing something which works. The mountain where we are at the foothills of a mountain. This particular hill, which is immediately behind the ashram, turns brown in the month of April, May, because this mountain there is no single tree over 20 years of age. They have removed everything. The rest of the mountain is very thick rainforest. This particular hill is like this. Because there was an illegal furniture industry taking away the timber, we kind of stopped that process. It took a certain amount of social upheaval to stop it, but we did. So then I devised a way of planting over this hill in the rainy season. It just took us about 22 to 23 days, about 4,000 to 5,000 volunteers, and I just had to provide them 2 meals a day, and we just had to create one song to keep the enthusiasm up, and we planted up this hill. Over 6 million seeds we planted in a certain way, ensuring that the sprouting was almost 100%, but because of the wildlife, a certain amount will die. This whole hill became green in 2 years' time. Today if you come and see, you will see in summer months it will not turn brown. Our temperatures have come down at least by 3 degrees in summer because of this 22 days of work. So I gave them a demo of, you don't have to give up your life to do this. Making a mountain green, they thought they have to give up their life. So it was a kind of a demo, and then they got enthusiastic. Then I went about speaking to farmer groups and villages and things. The simple message that I gave them is just this. See, as you sit here and breathe, what you exhale, the trees are inhaling. What the trees exhale, you are inhaling. This is a partnership, this is a relationship, without which you cannot do. You can do without any other relationship, this relationship you cannot break. Or in other words, one half of your lung is hanging out there in the tree. So it's not a tree, it is a part of your breathing equipment. So this message went across to people. They emotionally felt that this is something they have to do, because one part of their lungs is hanging out there in the tree and they have to take care of it. If they want to be healthy, if they want to be happy, if they want to live well, if their children have to live well, this has to be done. This is something they understood and it went. Today, I think we have about close to 17 million surviving trees, which has brought in almost over 7% green cover back to the state. This is official figures, the Google Maps say it's much more. So, a big movement started and many people started planting, and it has become the awareness that this has to happen has almost reached the whole population. The media and people came out in big numbers. We called for a green hands planting this year because this is our 30th year. I told them you have to plant 30 lakhs, that is 3 million trees. But people came back with a plan and said they will plant 6 million trees. I said, fine, this year they're planting 6 million trees. So about 1100 nurseries across the state, in private lands, donated lands, no government help, and planting not happening in government lands, all on private land. We convinced the farmer that he has to convert 10% of his farming land into trees. More food should come out of trees than crops. Right now the proportion is disproportionate. That's what we're working towards.
In another interview, you had said that you spent a lot of time, many years, to work on planting trees in people's minds.
Yes, that is the most difficult terrain.
Before you got them to plant trees in soil.
Planting trees in the soil is easy, because soil likes trees and trees like soil. Planting trees in people's minds was the big job. So first 6 years, that's all we did, planting trees in people's minds. But now that it's rooted in people's minds, it'll happen on the land quite effortlessly. 6 million trees is not a small number.
How did you do that? How did you engage with communities? And also, what do you see the impact now on these communities?
As I said, it became an experiential process. People understood that their existence is not separate from the trees. Once we put that across in an experiential way, through skits, through plays, through songs, through all kinds of means, through videos and, celebrities coming and talking about it, we organized these whole events across Tamil Nadu. So, it became clear to people, ordinary people, village people, people who are every day struggling for their livelihood. These are the people who did it. It's not some big corporation or some other great sponsorship. It's ordinary people on the street who did this.
One question that's asked of tree planting initiatives is the choice of trees and the long-term maintenance of the trees. So how does the program ensure this?
The choice of trees is not our choice. It's indigenous trees. We have chosen 108 indigenous trees, only trees which are local. We don't bring anything from outside. Survival rate is because we don't allow anybody to plant more than 2 trees. Children, 2 children will plant 1 tree in partnership. So right now the schools, we have taken this up in the schools in a big way, where 2 children in partnership will grow 1 tree, which is very doable. If you make a person plant 100 trees or 1,000 trees, invariably he's not going to take care of it unless he has the resources to do it. But 2 trees is something that he will take care of. So generally we gave them 3, said you must plant 2 and encourage one more person to plant 1 more. So this has set forth the whole culture today, that you will see in Tamil Nadu in weddings, people are giving out saplings, they come and take it from us. Instead of coconuts, they're giving out saplings, which is a significant change. How many of these wedding guests will actually plant? The thing is, we don't just give it away, we are also kind of encouraging as to how to plant, what to do and things. Even if they don't, but just the shift in culture from giving a coconut or a fruit or something, they have shifted to give a live sapling. When a grown plant is given to you, you can't just throw it like this and go. There is a certain involvement in that. And plantings happen, so we are also making sure they receive that. If they say, I don't know where to plant, we'll take it and plant it for them.
We spend money in so many frivolous ways, and as you mentioned, in unwanted gifts, for various occasions like festivals and birthdays and anniversaries. Can we encourage people? How can we encourage our friends,
Please,
our families?
you must do it. It's very, very important. A sensible and meaningful gifts are given, not frivolous and meaningless gifts. So, we have set up a website which says Give Isha. Through giveisha.com.org, through giveisha.org, you can donate, if for your birthday you can plant 100 trees. We will plant it for you. And if you want to know the location and if you want to see them every year, you want to visit them, you can also do that, we can arrange that for you. So, you can have a relationship, because you already have a relationship. Unfortunately, you're missing the whole experience. We can set up the experience for you. So through giveisha.org, people can either for their own birthdays or their friends' birthdays or their children's birthdays or other occasions, you can plant and you can come and visit your trees.
Wow, that's nice. Apart from the scientific importance of trees, it's important to combat climate change and recycle air and water.
No. We are not combating climate change with that. Yes, that will be a consequence. We plant trees because we understand it's deeply, deeply connected with our life. So, the science of breath, for one, and in many other ways, it's connected. So, the relationship is far more than just its utility. It's life. If without our life, they can survive. Without their life, we cannot survive. And as you know, in the past, most people got enlightened under a tree. So we are also building infrastructure for your enlightenment. You better plant one now, just in case you're planning to get enlightened. At least you must have a decent tree to sit under, otherwise nobody will believe.
Okay, I'll do a Bodhi tree then.
If you got enlightened in your bedroom, people won't believe you. At least you must be sitting under a tree.
In Asia and in most ancient cultures of the world, we grew up with a feeling of reverence for nature and Mother Earth. And that's fast disappearing in this new age of consumerism and greed, fueled by rapid economic growth. How can we regain that emotional connect, that love and respect for the earth?
It has to be brought forth in children, in the education systems. We are looking at the planet as a commodity. We are not looking at it as the source of our life, which is a serious, serious mistake and an extremely crass way of existence. So, if you look at your mother as a delivery system for you, it's a very gross way of existence. So if you look at the planet as a commodity, it is a very gross way of existence. It's time this is conveyed to the children of the planet, because they are the future generations. And if that has to happen, this generation has to get it too first. It has to be spread, the message. It's very, very important.
If we continue business as usual, it's estimated by the end of the century,
Century? You think it'll last that long? No.
Yeah, it's expected that the planet will become warmer by 4 to 6 degrees Celsius.
Singapore won't exist.
That's true. What action needs to be taken urgently by every sector of society, individuals, organizations, communities, policymakers? What action needs to be taken to prevent catastrophic consequences? Can we avert calamity? Is it inevitable? Do we have time to act? Do we have enough time?
One thing is, the way we consume the planet has to change. You can't stop it. It has to change, for which breakthrough technologies need to happen. Another important thing is, one of the most immediate things is to plant trees. Particularly, planting trees is effective only up to 33 degrees from the equator, north and south. But south of the equator, there isn't much land to plant, except Africa and certain parts of America. There is nowhere else there is land, but in north there is plenty of land. So southern India, or large segment of India falls into that, Singapore is in that range, and many other countries are there. Up to 33 degrees from the equator is the most effective place to plant trees. If you plant it in temperate climates, it will not contribute in a very big way to the climate change process, but the maximum impact happens here. So that is where we need to plant. These lands which are within 33 degrees on either side of the equator, this is where we must plant, because this is where it will make the difference. This is an immediate remedy, or it's not a remedy, it's a small correction. But if we don't even make this small correction, the other things, technological breakthroughs, nobody can predict the time. It may happen this year, it may happen a century later, okay? We don't know when it'll happen. We definitely need to invest in that direction, but there is no guarantee as to when it'll happen. So planting trees is something that we can do and see that it happens, and the impact is immediately visible. Consuming less in so many ways has to be done, technologies have to be improved, but those things will not happen immediately. They can take time.
And I suppose we must also conserve what we have. We're losing so much forest within this tropical belt.
That's what I said. You cannot reduce consumption without technological advancement. It'll not happen. You can only talk about it, but it's not going to happen because you cannot curtail human aspirations, but you can curtail human population. The tree population should increase, human population should come down. We have bred irresponsibly. From the beginning, in the last 100 years, at the beginning of 20th century, we were just 1.5 billion people. Today we are 7+. United Nations is making predictions by 2050, we will be 9.6 billion people. 9.6 billion people means we will have to live with 40% less resource than what we are enjoying right now. When I say resource, I am not talking about oil or gold or something. I am talking about food that you eat, water that you drink, air that you breathe. This is going to be a serious problem. So 9.6 billion people in another 40 years, not even 40, 36 years is a dangerous bomb sitting in front of us. Either we curtail this consciously or nature is going to do it to us in a very cruel manner. If we do it consciously, we can call ourselves human beings. If nature does it to us, we're just creatures on this planet.
So, what is true happiness and joy? And
No, this is not ecological.
No, I'm going to link it. How can we connect this
How
notion
can you
of…
sit on a tree and be happy? You got to be a monkey.
How can we connect this notion of individual happiness and joy to the well-being of all fellow human beings, well-being of all species on this planet, and the health of all ecosystems?
Don't worry about the happiness of other beings. If you keep this one being happy, really, If you're in a certain state of pleasantness within you, you will be pleasant to everything around you. Invariably, isn't it? When you're happy, are you not nice to people around you?
Certainly.
But when you're unhappy, are you very nice?
Not really.
Yes. So, people are too concerned about fixing the world. No. You fix this, if this is feeling very pleasant, it will naturally be pleasant to everything. So, the problem is always, we want to fix the world and then fix this. Not going to happen, it's only going to be talk.
Finally, there's a saying that goes like this: hope without action is just wishful thinking. Conversely, action without hope is impossible to sustain. So how can those who are really passionate about doing better for the world encourage others to take action, impactful action, without losing hope?
The thing is, your actions should not be based on hope. Your actions should be based on your clarity of vision, and you know this needs to be done, so you do it. Is it going to happen or not happen? That's not your business. Your business is, you did everything possible that needs to be done. Is it going to happen, is it not going to happen? If you calculate that now, you will give it up tomorrow morning. That's not necessary. It's going to happen or not going to happen are subject to many things. But did you do what you could do or not is the basic thing. So every human being has to look at this. Oh, it's okay if I plant the tree, is the world going to change? Whether it changes or not, it is just that out of your concern, you have done everything that you can do, you have not left anything undone. Always this is so. In one's life, in every human being's life, if you do not do what you cannot do, that's not the issue. You do not do what you can do, that's a disastrous life. So my wish is that nobody should become a disaster. Every human being should do what he can do. What he cannot do, nobody can do what they cannot do.
Thank you, Sadhguru, for your wonderful words of wisdom and guidance.